I also have Finnish heritage. My mom's Finnish, and I was gonna do like a Valentine's poem or something like that, but I've been thinking about something a little depressing recently. I've been thinking about war, not to get into the reasons why. This poem deserves a little bit of an introduction. See, Finland, I spent a lot of time there when I was growing up, and in Finland, every person who society treats as a man when they're born, have to go to the army. This is for a lot of interesting historical reasons, and I didn't go. I haven't gone yet. Yeah. This is a poem about that. It's called Silence. This poem starts with silence, because that's what my grandparents answered me when I asked them whose side we were on in the Civil War. In this country, men go to war, and in the forest they make the men's eyes into foxholes where they sit and wait for the enemy coming across their nose, running to their eyebrows. I didn't go to the military because I was afraid to lose the things I hid behind my irises. I was afraid of the heavy silence, the blanket that holds you tight, in which you wait for your enemy, imaginary or not. I do not want to fight. My grandparents were lucky, because both their fathers died young. In my family, men didn't go to war. They would have had to be dug up from their moss bed beneath the earth, exorcised from their six-walled homes, strung up like marionettes, the gun taped to their fingers. Ridiculous. Just like all the others. The ones that were taken or went, the only difference was that their homes were warmer than a coffin, and their mothers' eyes too became holes, but these holes were wells filled with salt water, hoping their sons could sail away on their teardrops to hide under their chest bones. Eventually, all the wells run dry when the sons don't come home, and the ones that do come back, their pain, a lake overflowing during rainfall, and the water that comes over the edges becomes fists, because when there are no words, men pray with violence, and the women's eyes dry out anyway. In my family, the men didn't go to war because there were no men. My great-grandfather died in a car crash 6 months before my grandfather was born in 1937, the other to a disease before the bombs fell, and the silence floated up like fog out of the way, because when something heavy falls, there is always noise, and then silence in the cracks of buildings after the fire's gone out. My grandfather was 3 years old in a bunker screaming about killing the Russians. He did not have to go to war. His eyes are still clear pools, and I could go for a swim in this endless summer peace. He's 84. I am 23 now. And I told my mother, had I been there, I wouldn't have been on the front queue hit by shrapnel. No, I would have spoken loud against the fire stretching from the heads of young men. I would have spoken so loud that peace would have grown fruits on the winter trees. And that day I lied to my mother. I would have been there, on the front lines when the bombs fall around me, in the holes that we dug, waiting and taking another young man's life with a bullet to the head, or he'd be taking mine with a knife to right below my heart. And my eyes too would be holes that would stretch through the back of my head to my mother's eyes and her mother's eyes. I do not know the names of all my dead ancestors who died of war. And I do not know the names of the 416,000 young men who died. I do not know their pain, because the dead do not speak. There is only silence. And I would have been there. Silent, dead. I would have been there. Please, do not make me go. Do not make our sons go. Do not keep alive the silence over your own children.